Welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing our journey through the material you shared from Emmanuel Bakare's book, Startup Process Improvement, Volume 1, Turning Chaos into Cash.
That's right. Moving from that initial startup scramble towards, well, something more sustainable.
Exactly. Last time, we really dug into his process-first mindset and that process-first revolution flywheel.
Shifting how we think about processes, not red tape, but actual enablers.
Yeah, enablers for speed, quality, even innovation, which sounds counterintuitive sometimes.
It can, but we talked about how that old move fast and break things idea just doesn't cut it for long-term success.
Right. Bakare's point is more like move fast and build enduring value.
Precisely. And that means building on solid process foundations, like a strong engine for your business.
So if last time was about that mindset shift, seeing process, a strategic tool, today we're jumping into chapter 14, the 4 pillars: Lean, Six Sigma, Agile, and Kaizen integration. It's where things get really practical, I think.
Oh, definitely. This chapter introduces Bakare's unified magic methodology and the startup methodology integration framework.
Unified magic. Sounds intriguing.
It is. Our mission today is really to unpack how combining these powerful methodologies, strategically lean, Six Sigma, agile, Kaizen is the key.
Not just picking one favorite.
Exactly. Not picking one, but blending them for holistic, adaptable operations. And importantly, how this helps avoid those common startup killers.
Okay, so for you listening, this deep dive should give you a practical framework, integrating these proven methods to really drive growth and agility. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So these names, Lean, Six Sigma, Agile, Kaizen, often you hear them talked about separately, maybe even like they're competing approaches.
That's a really common way to see them, yeah. You have to choose. Are we a lean shop or an agile shop?
Right. But Bakare argues against that.
He does. His startup methodology integration framework directly challenges that siloed thinking. The core idea, really, is combining their strengths.
Oh.
You create something much more powerful than any single one alone. That synergy is what he calls unified magic.
I like that. It's not about having just a hammer in your toolbox.
Right.
It's knowing when to use the hammer, the screwdriver, the wrench, maybe all together on different parts of the project.
That's a great analogy. You need the right tool or combination of tools for the specific job at hand.
Okay, so let's break down the pillars. Pillar 1, lean. What's the essence of lean for someone maybe hearing the term but not quite sure what it means?
Lean, at its heart, is about eliminating waste. Ruthlessly.
Waste meaning?
Well, anything that doesn't directly add value for your customer or anything that just eats up resources, time, money, effort without a real payoff.
Okay.
Lean helps you identify those friction points, the delays, the unnecessary steps, things that often hide in plain sight because, that's just how we do things.
The dreaded way we've always done it.
Exactly. And then Lean gives you the tools to cut them out, streamline the flow, maximize the value-adding stuff.
You mentioned an example, Tech Connect Solutions.
Yeah, in the book, they used Lean principles and managed to eliminate something like 64% of non-value-adding tasks in their customer support.
Wow, 64%. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's freeing up massive capacity.
It really is. It's finding that extra gear, like you said.
Okay, so lean, ruthless efficiency, cutting waste. Got it. Pillar 2, Six Sigma. What does that bring to the table?
Six Sigma brings the data, the rigor. It's focused on reducing variation and eliminating defects.
Variation, meaning inconsistency.
Exactly. Inconsistency, errors, deviations from the standard. Six Sigma aims for near perfection and highly reliable, predictable outcomes.
So it's about quality and consistency driven by data.
Precisely. Think of it like using data forensics to find the root cause of problems, not just patching symptoms. For a startup, this means fewer mistakes, happier customers, a more trustworthy product.
Any examples there?
Cloud Secure. A same startup Bakare mentions. They use Six Sigma and cut their security configuration errors by 87% in just 60 days.
87% reduction in errors.
Yeah.
That's critical, especially for security.
Absolutely. That kind of reliability builds serious trust and avoids costly fixes down the line.
Okay. Lean for efficiency, Six Sigma for data-driven quality. Now, Agile. This feels familiar, especially in tech. How does it fit in a process context? Isn't it sometimes seen as, anti-process?
Yeah, that's a common misconception. Agile isn't anti-process. It's more anti-rigid, slow process.
Oh.
Its core is flexibility, rapid iteration, continuous adaptation. It actually embraces change.
So short cycles, feedback loops.
Exactly. Short sprints, frequent feedback, continuous delivery. It lets teams respond really quickly to changing customer needs or market shifts. Think product development, you need to be nimble.
So it ensures you're building the right thing and can pivot fast if needed.
Precisely. It builds adaptability right into the way you work.
I guess. And the final pillar, Kaizen. What's its role?
Kaizen. It's a Japanese philosophy, meaning change for the better. It's about continuous improvement, but through small incremental changes.
Not big bang revolutions.
No, not typically. It's more about cultivating this ongoing mindset across the whole company of always looking for small ways to improve every day.
So everyone's involved.
Ideally, yes. From the top leadership to frontline staff, everyone looks for tiny improvements, ways to make things just a little bit better, smoother, easier. These small steps compound over time into really significant gains. It's like a daily workout for your business processes.
Okay, let me see if I've got this. Lean cuts waste, boosts efficiency. Six Sigma. Data, quality, consistency. Agile, flexibility, rapid iteration, adaptation. Kaizen, continuous small improvements, cultural thing.
You've nailed the core ideas.
And the unified magic is blending these, right? Not lean or agile, but lean and agile and Six Sigma and Kaizen used strategically where they fit best.
That's exactly it. You leverage their complementary strengths, they reinforce each other. That's where the real power comes from.
Can we make this more concrete? Let's use that hypothetical startup, Aeroflow Tech, the AI drone delivery software company. How would they integrate these for, say, customer onboarding?
Okay, good example. So, Aeroflow Tech onboarding. First, they'd probably use Lean. Map out the whole process from sign-up to first successful delivery.
Find the bottlenecks, the confusing steps.
Right. Identify delays, redundant forms, wasted effort, streamline it. Cut out everything that doesn't absolutely need to be there for the customer to succeed.
Okay, Lean cleans it up, makes it efficient. Then what?
Then bring in Agile. They could use maybe 2-week sprints to test and refine that newly streamlined onboarding.
How would that look?
Maybe A/B testing different welcome email sequences, getting rapid feedback from the first few users on the simplified steps, having quick daily check-ins to discuss any friction points customers are hitting in real time.
So you're iterating fast based on actual user experience.
Exactly. Making sure it's not just efficient, but also really effective and maybe even, pleasant for the customer. Agile helps you fine-tune it quickly.
Lean strips it down. Agile polishes it based on feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I see how they work together there. What about other areas like their core product development or manufacturing?
Sure. Think about their drone hardware team. They could use Lean to optimize the assembly line flow, minimize inventory sitting around, make the physical build smoother, faster.
No way.
At the same time, their quality control team could be applying Six Sigma, using data to track defects in, say, critical flight components, pinpointing why defects happen, and implementing checks to drastically reduce them, ensuring consistency.
So Lean for the flow, Six Sigma for the quality within that flow.
Precisely. Then you've got the software team. They're likely using Agile already. 2-week sprints, releasing new flight control features, incorporating feedback from test pilots constantly.
Standard Agile software development.
Right. And underpinning all of this, Kaizen. A culture where every team, hardware, software, QC support, feels empowered to suggest small improvements daily.
Like?
Oh, maybe a hardware tech figures out a slightly better way to organize tools. Or a support agent suggests a tweak to a knowledge-base article that cuts down confusion. Or the software team refines their daily stand-up format to be 5 minutes shorter but more effective.
Tiny changes, but everywhere.
Tiny changes, constantly, driven by everyone. They add up. So you're blending efficiency, quality, adaptability, and that continuous improvement mindset, it becomes one integrated operating system.
That does sound powerful, especially, as you said, for avoiding those startup killers. How does this framework directly tackle those? Things like just sheer inefficiency.
Well, inefficiency is a big one. It just drains cash and energy. Lean hits that directly by targeting waste. Six Sigma hits it by reducing the variation that causes rework and wasted effort.
Like Tech Connect cutting 64% of wasted tasks.
Exactly. That frees up so much resource. Then think about burnout. We mentioned Aqua before, how chaos burned out their team.
Yeah, a huge risk.
This framework reduces that chaos. Clearer processes, less firefighting, more focus on value. Teams aren't constantly scrambling. That directly fights burnout, boosts morale, helps keep your best people.
What about inconsistency? Getting a bad reputation for defects.
That's where Six Sigma shines. That data rigor, that focus on reducing errors. like cloud-secure cutting errors by 87%. That builds trust, reduces churn, saves money on fixing things.
And the fear of becoming rigid, slow.
Agile tackles that head-on with its flexibility, and Kaizen keeps things adaptable through constant small adjustments. You're building systems that can evolve, not static ones that break under pressure.
Makes sense. And one more, regulatory issues. Fines, compliance failures. You mentioned that stat about clinical trials. 43% delayed by regulatory errors. It's huge.
Massive risk, especially in certain industries. The rigor of Six Sigma, the standardization that comes from Lean, they help build compliance into your processes from the start.
So it's proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. It helps prevent those costly fines and delays. It ensures you can meet requirements as you grow. So this whole integrated framework, it creates a more holistic, efficient, and adaptable operation. That's what leads to enduring value, not just short-term bursts.
It really shifts the focus from just surviving the chaos to proactively building a resilient, high-performing business.
That's the goal, moving from reacting to proactively shaping your success.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping up today's deep dive, we've really unpacked Emmanuel Bakare's unified magic, integrating Lean, Six Sigma, Agile, and Kaizen. It's not just theory, it's a practical approach.
Absolutely. It's about seeing them as parts of a larger operating system for your startup.
And crucially, it's not about picking just one. It's about combining their strengths strategically to dodge those startup killers: inefficiency, burnout, inconsistency, rigidity.
You got it. Each pillar adds unique value, but the integration is where the real power lies for sustainable growth and building excellence.
Now, this integration piece is vital, but it's part of a bigger picture, right? Which brings us to our next deep dive. We're going to explore the process maturity journey, also from Chapter 1 of Bakare's book.
Ah, yes, that's key. Understanding how startups evolve process-wise, it's not overnight. It's a journey through stages.
Right, the 4 stages: foundation, standardization, optimization, and finally, excellence. Moving from chaos gradually towards a state where process is a competitive advantage.
And we'll connect that journey back to the process-first revolution flywheel again, showing how maturity fuels that virtuous cycle, boosting profits, speed, quality, all while reducing chaos.
And importantly, you mentioned we'll tackle that fear founders have about bureaucracy.
Yes, we'll really clarify the difference between enabling processes, the good kind, flexible, value-adding, and bureaucratic processes, the rigid, soul-crushing kind. It's a critical distinction. Founders need to understand they can have process without bureaucracy.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. So for today, as you reflect on this idea of integrating the 4 pillars, here's a thought. Where, in your own work, your startup, maybe even a personal project, are you relying on just one approach when maybe,
Just maybe.
some unified magic could happen by blending strengths?
Interesting question.
Think about it. Is there one area crying out for a bit of lean efficiency? Or maybe some Six Sigma data discipline? Could a little agile responsiveness make a difference? Or just starting a daily Kaizen habit of small improvements?
Yeah, where could that synergy unlock something powerful?
Exactly. What seemingly separate best practices could you start integrating, even in a small way, this week, to create your own bit of unified magic? Something to think about.